Welcome to Special Stage and welcome to the Isle of Man. It's the Manx National Rally. Once again, 2 days, 14 stages on the Friday and Saturday. A mix of local crews and top mainland rally drivers and cars. Changeable Manx conditions and some of the world's most iconic rally stages. Join us for this spectacle of rallying right here on Special Stage. With the largest entry gathered for the Manx National Rally in a number of years, the competition was expected to be fast and furious along the twisty, bumpy, iconic and notoriously fast stages. As well as running the Manx National Rally, the overall event would also incorporate two other rallies within it, the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally and also a Challenge Rally. In the first part of the show, we take a look at the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally, as well as a look at the overall and class results. And after the opening 6 stages of day one, the rally will be led overall by Timmy and Collins in their recently acquired Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 10, leading the way in the N4 class as well.
Do a square right. Square right, you got 50. 50, 2 square left. Into right 2 down.
For Ian Chadwick and Kevin Horgan in the Civic, it would be second overall, just 48 seconds behind the leaders at this stage, and leading the way in the B10 class. The fantastic sounding Millington Proton of Alan Oldfield and Ken Bills takes third overall at this stage, Alan taking a steady approach to the rally on his first visit to the island stages. And John Kirkpatrick, with Martin Quine alongside, were having no problems opening up a good lead of the B12 class at this stage. And just outside the overall podium, in fourth, the rear-wheel drive Astra bringing some more variety to the stages. Paul and Michael McAvoy start the day well in the B13 in Pritchard. They end day one in 5th overall and a good lead in the class too.
Caution turn hairpin left, long tightens. And right 5 into long crest. 150 of the crossroads. Right too long of the crest into right 5.
Chris Dakin makes his first appearance of 2014 in his Group N Subaru. He's guided around the stages by youngster David Jones. They currently hold second in Group N and 6th overall. Keith Douthwaite and Tony King were the pair lying in 7th overall. They lie just over 2.5 minutes off class leader Kirkpatrick ahead in the Astra. And it would be just 3 seconds back to 8th place Daniel Shacklock and Chloe Duke Keeg, currently 8th overall in the Peugeot and 2nd in the B10 class. Richard Barnard and Sean Donnelly end the day in 9th, and with Richard not having a co-driver even after setting off to the event, it was a good result, even starting the rally at this point. 2nd in the B13 class too. Kevin Jeffrey and Mark Simpson would round out the top 10 leaderboard in the Subaru Legacy, just 59 seconds behind Barnard, holding 3rd in that class. And it's Battle of the Vauxhalls at the top of the B9 class, with the Corsa of Mark and Andrew Constantine taking the lead at the end of day one, lying in 11th on our leaderboard. In the B11 class, it would be an early lead for Chris Taylor and Brian Hodgson in the Escort, but it was tight, just a 15-second advantage at this stage. Their lead in the class was over this man Grant Lease with Nick Pledger in the Vauxhall Astra, and they lie just 1 place behind on the overall results in 13th place. Tim Phelps and Jan Griffiths end the day 14th on the leaderboard, as well as rounding off the top of the B12 class in 3rd. Kyle Collister and Andy Barnard would end day one 3rd in the B10 class, a few minutes behind their class rivals and lying in 17th overall. Only the one crew out in class N1, and that's Chris Hayes and Cara Bolt. They endure a trouble-free run so far and also hold 19th overall. Craig and Alan Lemaire end the day 3rd in the B11 class, a few minutes behind their closest class rivals though. And Ian Barnard with Ashley Davies alongside lies 2nd in the B10 class at the end of the first day, also lying 22nd on the leaderboard in the Nova. However, the pressure wouldn't be off for Barnard as Stephen Johnson and Stephen Butler hold third in the class, just a handful of seconds back in the Micra. Terence Hoff and Ben Wild round off the N4 class in 28th overall. Some way off the class leaders though, up at the front of the results. On their first visit to the Isle of Man were Lee Farrer and Neil Bye, the only crew to be competing in A6 in their Ford Puma Super 1600, as they also hold 29th on the leaderboard after a day full of problems. So at the end of day one, here's a look at the top of the overall results in the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally. On to day two of the event then, and it would still be the overall and Class N4 lead for Timmy and Clienn Collins in the Mitsubishi Evo 10. And with Ian Chadwick missing from the results now, the pair have a good advantage in that overall position. So you've been working hard in there?
Yes, working hard. Yeah, we're just trying to get used to the car, and it's Clienn's first time as well. So we're just on the way. And we don't usually get to the end of this rally, so we're a bit steady with the whole.
I guess that's the aim for today then, get to the end.
Yeah, that's all we want to do. It's her first rally, so we just want to get her as much time as she can in the car, and then she can go and find a good driver, a proper driver.
Talking of the loss of Chadwick, that means it's a step up to second on the leaderboard now for Alan Oldfield and Ken Bills in the Proton. Still, of course, the only B14 runners, so the class win was safe. If they could finish. It's a big if here on the Isle of Man, particularly when it's your first visit. Paul and Michael McAvoy enjoy a good morning to move up the results to third on the leaderboard and, of course, maintain the lead of that B13 class. No change in the class position for Richard Barnard and Sean Donnelly. They remain second in B13. However, they do now move up the overall results into fourth position. And we now see Daniel Shacklock and Chloe Duke-Keeg taking up the class lead and moving up to fifth on the leaderboard. And for Kevin Jeffrey and Mark Simpson, it was still third in the class. A little time lost to Barnard though at this stage, and they lie in sixth overall. Chris Dakin and David Jones in the Subaru were still lying second in the N4 class and in seventh on the leaderboard now, but they were not going to catch the leaders with over 7 minutes deficit at this stage. We do see a move up in both the class and overall positions now for Grant Lease and Nick Pledger as they step up to 8th on the leaderboard, as well as leading their class. Which you might have realised means for Chris Taylor and Brian Hodgson it's a drop down to 2nd in the class and 9th overall. No change in the Class B9 lead for Mark and Andrew Constantine as they move up into 10th position now. And with the loss of John Kirkpatrick in the rear-wheel drive Astra, it means it's a step up to the B12 lead for Keith Douthwaite and Tony King. However, they do slip down the results overall into 11th. Paul Evans and Lowell Powell make a push the other way up the results as they end this loop second in the class and in 12th on the leaderboard. And for Kyle Collister and Andy Barnard, it will be second in the B10 class now, 13th on the leaderboard in that Peugeot. Matthew Carter and Mark Collister lie a few places back from their B12 class battle in 14th overall, third in the class though. And Ian Barnard with Ashley Davies alongside remains second in the class and lies in 17th overall. A small incident bending the stub axle, putting their challenge on the back foot just a little this morning. And we swap one Golf GTI for another in the final podium place of the B11 class as Terry Phillips and Ian Notman take up that position with 18th on the leaderboard at this stage. Terence Hoff and Ben Wild lie third in their class still, some way back from the leaders as well, in 19th overall. And there's change for third in the B9 class now as Stephen Bettridge and Michael Keeg jump up into that position, 20th on our leaderboard. Still the lone A6 class runners, but still running in that Super 1600 Puma, are Lee Farrer and Neil Bye, running 24th on the leaderboard. So we're midway through day 2 here at the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally on the Isle of Man. Here's a reminder of the results at this stage. On to the final results here in the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally then, and third in the B11 class would go to Carl Lum and Andy Darlington as they finished in 17th overall. Finishing just over a minute ahead of them in 16th would be Terry Phillips and Ian Notman, the pair taking away second in the B11 class in the process. And Lee Farrer with Neil Bye alongside manages to bring the Puma home to take their class trophy in A7, as well as 15th on our leaderboard. No change for third in the B9 class for Stephen Bettridge and Michael Keeg as they end the event in 14th. Meanwhile, second in that class would still belong to Ian Barnard and Ashley Davies. Even with the problems, they finish with almost 3 minutes advantage in that place. We lose Chris Daking from the results in the last loop of stages due to an accident, which means second in the N4 class at the finish for Terence Hoff and Ben Wild. They take 12th overall. Meanwhile, just outside the top 10 in 11th place are Matthew Carter and Mark Collister, the pair finishing on the final step of the podium as well in the B12 class in that escort. Second in that class would go to Keith Douthwaite and Tony King, just rounding off the top 10 at the end of the event. Inside the top 10 then, and in second place in the B10 class, it would be Kyle Collister and Andy Barnard, finishing 9th overall. Mark and Andrew Constantine have a good run to take victory in the B9 class, as well as 8th on the leaderboard. And after a slow start for his first time on the Isle of Man, it would be the B12 class win for Paul Evans and Lowell Powell, as they finished 7th on the event. A move into the Class B11 lead on day 2 paid off for Grant Lease and Nick Pledger, as they finish with the class win and take 6th overall with it. Daniel Shacklock and Chloe Duke Keeg are the highest placed front-wheel drive crew. They finish in 5th overall and take the B10 class win in the Peugeot. And a good weekend of rallying for Richard Barnard and Sean Donnelly sees them taking 2nd in the B13 class, as well as 4th on the overall leaderboard. Taking the class win in B13 though are Paul and Michael McAvoy. A great result and a podium place overall to go with it. A seemingly steady approach to the event seemed to work for Alan Oldfield and Ken Bills. They take the B14 win on the Chris Kelly Rally, as well as finishing 2nd overall. But taking victory at the end of the event were rally long leaders Timmy and Clienn Collins. A puncture in the final loop of the day didn't lose the pair much time, and they take the win with a comfortable 5-minute margin. Tim, Clienn, as part of the Manx National Rally, of course, the Chris Kelly has now been incorporated within that, and you two have come out winners of that part of the rally. Fantastic result, well done.
Yes, it's good to, it's for Clienn's first rally, and it's good for her to have a good run and get a result.
Don't know, how was the first rally? What a rally to do for your first ever rally.
Yeah, it was good. I was just glad we got to the end. That was all we were trying to do, really. And yeah, it's just it's good that we came out with a good result in the end. So
a good result. You won your element of the rally, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. So what was it like sitting on the Manx lanes for your first time? What was going through your mind before that first start?
It wasn't too bad, actually. It was at the start line. That's when you start getting a bit. But when it came into doing the rally and stuff, saying the notes and stuff, it was fine. Kind of just it was when you get lost in the notes, that's when you panic. Yeah. But eventually it was fine.
A new event would be introduced in 2014 within the Manx National Rally format, and that would be the Manx Challenge Rally. This event was for crews who only wished to compete on the Saturday stages. Unfortunately, it only attracted 3 crews, but all 3 were in a different variety of Ford Escort. The unfortunate crew to retire would be Pepe Planeta and Dan Simcock as they debut the newly built Escort Mark II. Nigel and Abby Quirk take second place in their home-built Ford Escort Mark VI. And taking the honours on the inaugural Manx Challenge Rally are Dave and Rachel Corris in their Ford Escort World Rally car. The pair had been held up a few times by slower crews, but it didn't change the overall result. A well-deserved win for the pair. I'm joined on special stage by some miniature rally fans. Say hello to the TV cameras, guys. The Manx National Rally is not only one of the top rallies in the country, but you know what? It brings out the spectators, and it's great to see fans as young as this enjoying their rallying here in Port Erin. So on to the National Rally now, and taking the early lead in that section of the event were Paul Bird and Aled Davies. The pair hold a commanding lead as well of over 2 minutes after the 6 stages on the Friday evening. Second overall after stage 6 were Ollie Mellors and Ian Windress in that glorious sounding Millington-engined Proton Satria. Ollie setting some fantastic times on his very first visit to these challenging stages. And third overall, leading the way in Class A8, would be the Ford Focus World Rally car of Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke. Having not driven the car since finishing second on last year's rally, the pair were certainly showing they still had the pace. Second of the A8 runners and sitting in fourth, just 10 seconds behind Pritchard, was Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh in the ex-Petter Solberg Impreza S12B WRC. Damien Cole and Elliot Edmondson hold fifth in the overall standings for now. Not the place they would want to stay in, but not a bad start to the rally. And the all-Irish crew of Daniel McKenna and Arthur Kierans make their first visit to the Manx Lanes ahead of the International Rally in September. They get off to a flying start as they lead the B12 class and hold a fantastic 6th overall in the Escort. Reigning Manx Rally champions Arron Newby and Rob Fagg get off to a good start, leading the B13 class and indeed the Manx Championship crews. The pair also hold 7th overall. Second in the B13 class and second of the Manx Championship crews as well was Steve Colley and Andrew Cowley. The pair enjoyed a good run on the Poker Stars at the end of last season and would be looking for a good result to start their 2014 campaign. Nigel Cannell and Graham Farher were pairing up for this weekend's event, but so far it was only getting them third in the class and 9th overall. But tomorrow would be where the rally would be won or lost. Rounding out our top 10 at this stage were John Stone and Carl Williamson in the Skoda. Not the best of starts, with a stall on the first hairpin of the rally, but it was starting to look better as the stages went on. John McCrone and Di Roberts give the new Ford Fiesta R200 its Manx Rally debut, and they start off well as they dominate the B10 class in the early stages of the rally and also hold a very credible 15th overall. Third of the A8 runners and sitting in 17th on the leaderboard are Graham Coffey and Jenny Gebler. Graham taking a cautious approach to the event after not having much seat time in that WRC Fiesta. And second in the B12 class are the Manx pairing of Kex Walker and Danny Matthews. This pair always go well and always try to put on a bit of a sideways show for the spectators in that BMW as well. They hold 18th overall after the Friday stages. Second in the B10 class would be taken up by Manx residents Martin Jones and Ben Hardy. Martin pushing his basic 1600 Nova, as always, to the limits to try to keep up with the much more powerful Fiesta in front. They lie just 48 seconds adrift in 20th overall. Meanwhile, Keith Robertson and Ian Nicol have a clean day one to lie in 21st on the leaderboard, with third in the B12 class. For Guy Simkis and Debbie Perry, it would be the Class B11 lead. The Astra pair going well to lie in 23rd overall. And second in the B11 class were Andrew Dudgeon and Adam Yates. The pair enjoyed a good run on the Poker Stars despite some setbacks, and currently they lie in 26th overall in the Civic. Only the one crew in H4, but we don't mind because it's a fantastic looking and sounding Porsche 911 of Adrian Kermode and Maurice Beckett. Darren and Sue Underwood have the edge in the class for championship points, but not for the overall results. Third in B10 when you factor everyone in, and 33rd overall in the Nova. And it would be 3rd in the B11 class for Steve and Michael O'Leary, as they sit a few places behind Underwood in 35th on the leaderboard. Just the one crew in the N3 class, which means Matthew Bettridge and Ian Postlethwaite just have to finish to get the class win. Easier said than done though here on the Isle of Man. They lay 45th overall for now. And only one in Class A7 as well, as Daniel Boardman and Steve Coombs have the same to do from their 46th position overall. With the Friday stages done then, let's take a look at the top of the results in the National Rally. Here at Special Stage, we were quite disappointed and really surprised to note that there was a lack of marshals this weekend, which made running the Manx National Rally for the Manx Auto Sport Club very difficult indeed. You know what? This is the best place in the world, arguably, to go rallying. You've got it on your doorstep. If you like rallying, get involved. Get in touch with the Manx Auto Sport Club. They will tell you how you can get involved and start marshalling. You know, it could lead to you getting out in a rally car and actually competing. Be a marshal. Let's all show our support for this fantastic sport and the great heritage here on the Isle of Man. Heavy overnight and continuing rain left the stages very tricky for day 2. But there wouldn't be any change in the lead as Paul Bird and Aled Davies continue to lead the way in the rally and in Class B14. Change now though in second place as Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke step up to take that position, still leading their class.
Right, possible water, 4 right half long, possible water, care water on, 2 left short max, rightish over small crest, 50, 4 left, water on, 120, flat small crest, 100, care, 3 right half long over bump, 3 right half long over bump, care, 100 over water maybe, middle flat crest, 150 to 1 right, and small crest 30, small crest 30, 1 left over crest 50 to 2 left, into 3 right minus, into 3 right minus, and 4 left half long, tightens 5 left, 30, 4 left over crest and bump, don't cut, crest and bump, alright? Yeah.
For Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh, it will be second in the A8 class as they gain a place in this morning's loop to lie in 3rd place now.
And K, 5 left in, tightens, and 4 left to the finish, 130, 3 right, okay, well done.
And all this change means it's a move down the results for Ollie Mellors and Ian Windress. Only as far as 4th though, and still right on the heels of Simpson. No change in 5th for Damien Cole and Elliot Edmondson. Unable to make any time up, they will be looking set to settle for this result. Daniel McKenna and Arthur Kierans don't let the wet stages get the better of them in the escort as they remain in 6th position and of course in the lead of the B12 class. Daniel, fantastic first day. How's day 2 going for you?
Yeah, well, the rain is coming now, so it's not as easy in this type of car, but no, the stages are very slippy and shiny, like, but we're just taking our time. We're not taking any risks at all. We're being really careful, and the whole reason we're here is to try and learn the island for the international rally in September. So everything's going well. So we had a bit of trouble with the car last night in the front suspension, but it seems to be holding out all right. But no, we're enjoying it now. Enjoying it.
Good luck for the rest of the day.
Thanks.
And there's change in the B13 class and Manx Championship lead now as Steve Colley and Andrew Cowley move up into 7th and take the lead by just 1.9 seconds. Steve, big smile on your face. You look like you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, enjoying it. I think Aaron's on inters, I'm on full wets, and we were sat up there with a bit of a delay and absolutely howled it down, so it's pretty soaking everywhere, loads of puddles. So I've had 5 out of him, maybe 10 out of him on this last run, so going good, having fun. Just found a nice pace then, I think. Andrew's doing amazing as usual. Yeah, so who knows what this afternoon's going to bring.
This change at the expense of Arron Newby and Rob Fagg, who make a unique and pretty brave tyre choice on the morning loop of stages. The gamble doesn't pay off though. They move down to 8th overall and 2nd in the class. Arron, reigning Manx Rally champion, this could be a chance for you to lay a marker down against some tough opposition.
Yeah, no, I think we had the wrong tyre for those last 2 stages. It's like a slick, basically, with 2 cuts around the inside, but through there it was absolutely lethal. So we'll have to see what the times are. I think we dropped a lot in those last 2, but we'll go into service. I think we'll change tyres now.
The talk of the service area was your choice of tyres. Why did you go for a slick when it looked quite wet out there?
As we were driving along, I saw there was a few blue skies like behind the clouds. I thought it was going to creep through, which it did for the first stage, and then I got into the second with a bit of a delay, and then heavens opened, and so got caught out, but it's rallying in it.
John Stone and Carl Williamson were having a few small problems with the car at this stage, but nothing that was stopping them from moving into that 9th place. And their move into that place was due in part to the loss of Nigel Cannell down the order, meaning also that Conor Corkill and Dale Furness now round out the B13 podium places in 10th overall. John McCrone and Di Roberts still lead the way in the B11 class and lie in 11th overall, but it wasn't without its problems by the time they reached the end of the morning loop. John, I'll make it quick. You've clearly got a few issues to sort out.
Yeah, we're overheating and the oil lights just come on there, so I think we've dropped quite a lot of time in that stage, unfortunately, but we're having fun before that, so.
Until now, you've looked very impressive and the times have been fantastic.
Yeah, the last stage before this one we had a good run, and then this has just started flickering on through that stage there, so I've had to come right back just to look after the engine a wee bit, but really tricky in there, so slippy.
We'll let you get back to sorting these problems.
Yep, thank you very much.
Graham Coffey and Jenny Gebler make a small move in the right direction on the results to lie in 12th place now and remain 3rd in the A8 class. No change though in 2nd of the B12 class as Kex Walker and Danny Matthews hold on to that place, although they unfortunately drop a place overall now into 19th. Kex, you seem to be less sideways than usual.
Yeah, it's not very nice out. No. It's really horrible. There's a few times where I've been sideways where I didn't want to be sideways, at quite high speed as well. That's not much fun. We just had a great big angle round Oatlands there, so yeah, that was all right. But yeah, just trying to keep it steady. And
you always have a job on your hands against a much more modern, much faster, much more expensive machinery, and you're doing the same thing today. You're doing a good job against those guys, though.
We seem to be going all right at the moment, yeah. I think today they're going to start taking some time out of me because obviously the advantage of local knowledge, etc., etc., and obviously it's daylight now, so they can see where they're going. So, but we'll keep pushing as hard as we can and see what happens.
A long day awaits. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guy Simpkiss and Debbie Perry gain a few positions in this loop and move up to 20th. They continue to lead the way as well in the B11 class. The ever-happy, always smiling Pete Rayner and Den Golding make a move into the top of the class battles now, taking up 3rd in the B12. They also lie just 1.4 seconds behind Simkiss 2 in 21st overall. Meanwhile, Adrian Commode and Maurice Beckett are still going strong in that Porsche as the only historic runners, now in 27th on the leaderboard. Big changes in B11 as Walter Bridson and Stephen Christian move up into second place in the class from their previous 5th position. And there are changes in the B10 class too, as we see Darren and Sue Underwood have a lucky escape in Druidale on their way to moving up to 2nd in that class, as well as 33rd overall. And has changed to 3rd place in the B11 class, as well as Jeff Wright and Chris Sanderson take up that position in the Almira, just 16 seconds behind the Underwoods in 34th. No change though in B10, as Dale and Mark Clatworthy move up into 3rd place in the class with their 38th in the Corolla. And still no change in N3 either, with only one crew as Matthew Bettridge and Ian Postlethwaite lie 42nd overall. Daniel Boardman and Steve Coombs lie just behind them 43rd and in the A7 class lead. So with 9 stages complete here in the Manx National Rally, here's a reminder of the top of the National Rally results. On to the final results then, and finishing 3rd in the B10 class at the end of the event were Paul Clapham and Colin Watson. Daniel Boardman and Steve Coombs keep the car going to the end to claim the Class A7 trophy with 37th overall. And Matthew Bettridge with Ian Postlethwaite alongside does the same to end the event with the N3 class trophy, as well as 36th on the leaderboard. We see some changes at the finish in the B10 class though, as Dale and Mark Clatworthy managed to gain one more place to finish 2nd in the class with their 35th place overall. That change also meaning that it would be the class win for Darren and Sue Underwood, as they finish a few places ahead in 32nd. Jeff Wright and Chris Sanderson bring the Almira home in 28th overall, and with it they take 3rd in the B11 class. And 2nd in B11 would be Walter Bridson and Stephen Christian, just 2 places ahead overall in 26th. Guy Simkis and Debbie Perry have showed us a consistently fast run to lead the class all weekend. They finished with the B11 win and 21st position in the Astra. Unfortunately for Kex Walker and Danny Matthews, their 2nd place in the B12 class they'd held for most of the rally had turned into 3rd in the class by the finish. A great result though against the competition to finish 18th overall. And just beating them to that 2nd in the B12 class were Darren Atkinson and Phil Sandham. Always on the limit, but not always in control. They tidy things up by the finish to get themselves 16th overall. 3rd position in B14 and 15th overall is a good result for Alex Laffey and Jack Morton following their rally-ending crash on the opening round of the Tour of Epping. The pair set some good times on their debut in the new M Sport Fiesta R5+. And 3rd in the A8 class, as they had been all weekend, were Graham Coffey and Jenny Gebler. 11th overall being the highest they could get to by the finish. Problems at the start of day 2 put Nigel Cannell and Graham Farhoe down the results, and they end the day there as well, in 10th overall. Sadly, only 5th in the B13 class as well, after they'd been up as high as 3rd. We do see a last-minute move into the top 10 then for Quentin Milne and Martin Forrest on their first visit to the Isle of Man. The experience had been a good one, and the most important thing on your first visit here is to finish, which they do, in 9th place. With a handful of top 5 times throughout the day, Conor Corkill and Dale Furness climbed the leaderboard to take 3rd in B13 and 8th overall at the end of another tough Manx rally. Steve Colley and Andrew Cowley unfortunately can't hold on to the class lead they gained this morning, They end the rally second in the class, as well as 7th overall. Irish pairing Daniel McKenna and Arthur Kieran's don't let anything faze them on their first Manx outing, as they keep the escort in 6th place all weekend. That result also gets them a fantastic class win to take back to Ireland. And reigning Manx champions Arron Newby and Rob Fagg would equal the place they held last year before retirement. 5th overall and leading the way in the Manx Championship cruise, as well as the B13 class. A good finish all round for this pair.
5 right over jumps, 150. Crest jump into 6 right long, tightens at pole. 60, 6 right over jump and attention, 6 left over bumps. 80 care, very slippy braking. For water, caution, 2 left, very slippy. Go 100 over crest. Into water, slippy, 6 left, 5 right plus. And 40, very slippy, 5 left long. 50, 6 right over jump. 300. 5 left over crest. 150. And care, 6 right over jump. 150. Caution, jump, bump.
John Stone and Carl Williamson in that Skoda Fabia let consistency take them up the results as they gained some places in the afternoon stages today to end the event in 4th place. Given that they had some problems during the event, this was a great result at the end of a tough rally. Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh, meanwhile, have a good run without any bad luck this year, ending the event 3rd overall and taking away some good Asphalt Championship points, which of course was their main aim. Unfortunately, we lose rally leaders Paul Bird and Aled Davies in dramatic fashion as they crash out just after the start of the Druidale stage, ending their chances of a repeat victory. Bird's retirement is good news to this man though, Ollie Mellors, with Ian Windress alongside in the overall lead of the event, but they're overhauled on the very last stage and have to settle for 2nd in the rally. Nevertheless, a stunning performance on Ollie's first visit to these famous stages. So taking their first victory on the Manx National Rally here in 2014 are Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke. Pushing hard on the very last stage saw them secure the win that they narrowly missed out on last year. The fight for the win would certainly be one to remember for years to come.
1 left max, 140, line into 3 left plus, tar change, 120. Slippy line into 6 right plus, into 2 left half long max. 2 left half long max, into 2 left short max, don't cut. 50, 3 right plus, don't cut. 40, 1 left max over finish. Oh, well done. Good spell. Well done.
So at the end of an action-packed and exciting rally, we've come to expect nothing less here on the Isle of Man. Here's a reminder of the overall national rally results. Jason, Phil, there's something about a Manx rally that always brings with it a little bit of drama, but we've had our fair share of drama today, but you are on top. What a day.
I know, it's been such an up and down weekend. You know, last night we thought we were out of the event, and this morning we didn't think we were going to start, and to finish the day as winners, it's unbelievable that them last couple of stages was flat out, absolutely flat.
Now, this afternoon was a battle of attrition, Phil, to be fair. It has to be said, some of the front runners coming unstuck, but you guys have been there pushing all the way this weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit very much like last year, really. That's right. We've just been pushing all the time, you know. And Jason hasn't been in the car for 12 months. Came here last year, finished 2nd. 12 months later, you know, come on and just got into it, got quicker and quicker. And that last stage down through the Baldwins, just absolutely awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely on it all the way. Bang, bang, bang. And to take the victory, I've got to say well done to Ollie Mellors. First time on the island, first time making his own notes. He'll be back again, and Jason's going to be back again, isn't he? So, brilliant.
Arron, reigning Manx champion, you were expected to go well here, and you haven't disappointed your team, have you?
No, you know, we struggled yesterday on last night. Just couldn't get my confidence back up. It's been a while since I've been on the notes and on the actual road, so... You know, we struggled last night. We struggled this morning when we went out on a slick with 2 cuts on the inside. Wasn't the best tyre for the 3 stages, but after the first service, put in freezing, and the car's been absolutely brilliant after that, you know. And on those last 2 stages, we just pushed the absolute limit and managed to go from, I think it was 6th down to 4th, and just got McKenna by 1.8. So I'm over the moon with that.
You know, that's up to 4th, not down to 4th.
Yeah, that's it.
4th overall. And if you looked at the entry,
Yeah.
I'm sure you did before the start of this rally, you'd have taken 4th place, wouldn't you? And first of the Manx registered championship crews as well.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we came here, we would have been happy with top 10 last night, and the top 5 today would have been an absolute surprise to us. And to be fair, there has been a few drop out, as there always is, which it's really sorry to them. But you know, 4th overall for us now, it's absolutely brilliant result. The guys have put so much work into it. Teg, you know, me and Rob on the notes, and it's all paid off in the end.
It does help having a local co-driver with local knowledge, but you've been against some very, very tough challengers in the Manx Championship. You've got a lot of local talent and a lot of local knowledge out there.
Yeah, it's never easy, you know, to go against someone when it's on their own back garden, you know. But it's good because they push me to the limit. We're getting faster, they're getting faster, and you know the pace is coming up quick. But they're not easy to beat, and the whole top 10 haven't been easy to beat here. I think anyone in the top 20 could have won it at the start. So, you know, it's been a hard event, but everyone's pushed, and it's all paid off for us all, I think.
I've heard it said that the entry on this rally was one of the top 10 entries that anyone has seen this year so far in a rally. So high profile, so much top end machinery and top talent. So well done, great result.
Thank you, cheers.
I'm delighted to be congratulating you as our first rear-wheel drive, our first 2-wheel drive finisher here on the Isle of Man this weekend. What a great result.
Yeah, we're absolutely delighted. The whole reason coming here this weekend, we're doing the British Championship along with Pirelli in a Citroen DS3, and I've never been on the island before. And it's around the British Championship in September, so we came just to try and find our way around the island, but it's gone much better than we thought, and we've learned an awful lot. But the be top 2-wheel drive and 4th overall is a massive bonus. We're just delighted.
It was a great drive around the island, and particularly with it's such a high profile entry you get on the Manx National with all the World Rally cars and the top new machinery, the R5 pluses and everything. So to be amongst all that lot and to be getting this kind of result on such a high profile rally is a great day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like it's especially better for me now because I'm representing Pirelli. I'm using Pirelli tyres and stuff, and it's, you know, it helps my case when I go back to the guys. You know, hopefully they'll be happy with the result. But yeah, like as I say, the main reason we came here was to get familiar with the island, and we didn't really think about the result at all. We weren't looking at times at all. But yeah, it's nice to be mixing with the WRC guys, first time on the island, especially in the wet conditions. So we're delighted.
I'd say mission accomplished. Well done.
Thank you.
So as always, 2 days of Manx tarmac rallying has thrown up so much drama, so much spectacle, and so much competition. The times have been close, the pace has been absolutely fierce, and the weather, as always, has been changeable. But you know what? We've had a fantastic weekend. 3 very deserving guys on the podium this weekend, and a great battle put up by a lot of local crews in cars that didn't quite match the technology that was brought over from the mainland this weekend. A great rally all round, I'd say. Thank you for watching Special Stage.
keep left over crest bump, 120.